Now, let us examine the guarantee that we have. It says that in consideration of the AGIP extending a loan of $12 million to Carnegie Municipal Council Staff Welfare Association for the purchase of a parcel of land, the Carnegie Municipal Council guarantees the prompt, full and complete performance of any and all required duties and obligations of the Welfare Association to the bank, and full payment of any and all indebtedness due to the bank by the Welfare Association under the terms of the loan agreement set out by the bank and under the following terms and conditions. Number one, that subject to the above limit, if the Welfare Association fails to repay the loan, the Carnegie Municipal Council shall be financially responsible for the Welfare Association's obligations. This includes the unpaid principal amount of the loan, plus accumulated interest and cost. In witness whereof, the duly authorized representatives of the parties hereunto set their hands and seals the day and year first above written. And you have signed the agreement, and Dr. Alukeda signed the agreement in relation to the bank guarantee. Now, to start with, this was our point yesterday. I'm not sure whether you had sought legal advice. Let's assume you have the powers to sign the guarantee. But were you advised accordingly?
I sought advice, and the advice was that we needed a general council resolution. But at the same time, too, the issue of the credit union came up.
Yes.
And I was not given that advice in that regard. And I realized that this is something that the Staff Welfare Association needed badly, or really needed to be able to continue with their activities. Activities that they have planned and have thought that would bring them more funds and would take the welfare to another level in improving the affairs of the staff in the council. So I thought that, well, if the credit union's loan guarantee can be endorsed, so I might as well give the association the guarantee for them to be able to move on with their activities. And also, because of the fact that the mayor was referencing the Local Government Act.
The mayor was?
Referencing the Local Government Act that it stated that I need a general council guarantee, general council resolution to be able to give the guarantee, and which was not found anywhere in the Local Government Act. So I thought maybe he was trying to disadvantage the welfare association, because for me, the way I saw it, when it comes to people who are close to him in the council, like the councillors and those who are close related to him, anything they require from the council is good for the council. But when it comes to the ordinary staff of the council, anything about them is not good for the council.
Yes, that we have received evidence of. The mayor will answer those allegations or assertions, no doubt. And you see, there are different limbs to this, and I want us to separate each limb with respect to the issue of the guarantee. First, you have given evidence to say that this is an occurrence before you even arrive at the ministry. Sorry, at the area council, that CEOs would guarantee in relation to loans, and then so there would not have been need to get a security council. General council resolution. General council's resolution. You have said that. Yes. And you have made reference to a case in point in relation to the mayor's aunt, who was the president of the credit union.
Yes.
In relation to the area council. And you were not asked to get a general council resolution for that one. Correct? Yes. And so if that is the case, and the two are one and the same, and I agree with that assertion, if the two are one and the same, then that would not be proper and fair on the side of the mayor. And of course, he will have the opportunity to answer questions and assertions along these lines. But if that is proven, then that would not be proper. It would not be fair, unless he has other reasons as to why. That is one issue of its own. Whether you have the right to sign the guarantee as a CEO, going by the law, the commissioners will also decide that. I had said that you are under the as a CEO, under the direction and control of council. The commissioners will decide up to what level this direction and control. It does not mean anything you must do, you must seek the yes of council. No, we can't operate along. I have a reporting responsibility as well. And we discussed that yesterday. You must, even if you take actions without informing, you have to report subsequently. Your answer was there was no time to report because it was within a week and then you were attacked with these allegations. But let's put that aside. Now, you have signed and you believe it was in your usual powers to sign. You have done it before. You have done it for the mayor's aunt. There was no problem. Now you have done it with the association. There seems to be a problem and you can't understand that. But even going by as a CEO, acting within your powers, which you genuinely think you were acting, would it not have been advisable to seek advice, perhaps? Because if you look at the wordings of the bank guarantee that you had endorsed with Dr. Keda, for instance, it says the one and first and only condition that subject to the above limit, the welfare associations, if the welfare association fails to prepay the loan, the Carnival Municipal Council shall be financially responsible for the welfare association's obligations. And this includes the unpaid principal amount of the loan, plus accumulated interest and costs. How do you understand this?
That is to say that if they fail to perform as expected, the management will ensure that the welfare association is held accountable.
No, he didn't say that.
Because if you look at the other letter, the demonstration letter,
yes,
it is stated that all payments that are due to the welfare association will be domiciled to the bank.
Yes.
Yes. So it was now the responsibility of the management to ensure that any payment that is due to the welfare from deductions from the staff salaries will be paid into the welfare account at the bank.
Let me read that, and then we will reconcile the two. The letter of the 24th of June 2021 says, and I read, addressed to the Managing Director, Ajib Bank Gambia Limited, Banjul de Gambia, domiciliation undertaken, further to the letter of institutional guarantee on behalf of the Carnival Municipal Council, Staff Welfare Association, in consideration of the Ajib extending a loan of $12 million to the association for the purchase of a parcel of land. The Carnival Municipal Council herein undertake to domicile monthly payments due to the association deduction from council staff to Ajib with immediate effect until the full payment of any and all indebtedness due to the bank by the welfare association under the terms of the loan agreement set out by the bank, in whereof the duly authorized representatives of the parties here to set their hands and seals the day and the year first above written. Now this was 24th June 2021. It says that you will undertake to pay monies from the accounts to Ajib Bank.
Yes.
Correct?
Yes.
But again, that's why I asked that you seek for legal advice or any other advice. The guarantee that you have signed stated, and I read again, subject to the above limit, the welfare association fails to, if the welfare association fails to pay, the Carnival Municipal Council shall be financially responsible for the welfare association's obligations. Now, how do you understand that paragraph?
That is just like I explained. If the welfare fails to perform,
yes,
the management of the council will ensure that any monies that are due to the welfare will be paid to the bank.
No, now I'm telling you as a lawyer, will bear the burden of paying the loan.
Maybe according to the lawyer's language.
Yes.
Yeah, but from our perspective as management,
yes,
the implication for me was to hold the welfare association, the executive, accountable to pay the loan fully.
How would you hold it accountable if they don't have money?
Because it's the management. The payments are from reauthorized payments.
These are legal documents. Do you understand that? You
Yes.
agree these are legal documents.
I do.
And it would have been prudent. Another lawyer may have a different interpretation as to what it means from us. But that is the more reason why you should seek for advice. That is the more reason. The idea that two people can have different interpretation as to what it says. When I read, I see that if A fails to pay, B must pay in simple language. And unless you have somebody else who reads it different, the idea that it even suggests that would probably warrant any CEO to be more careful to seek for proper advice. That is not, in fact, in contemplation of the idea that you have the power to sign. Even if you have the power to sign it, even the mayor cannot tell you not to sign or not to sign. Even if the mayor or the council has no power to tell you to sign or not to sign. Let's assume that is the case. For your own responsibility, it would have been prudent to seek for advice. You get it?
Advice was sought in both cases, and it was given in respect to the order and denied in respect to the...
So our position, we move on, our position is, at the level of the lawyers here, is that the guarantee that you have signed would tie the Caribbean Municipal Council in financial obligations. That is, at best, how we understand it. And again, even if the mayor is to give you go ahead with the guarantee with respect to the aunt as well, without following due process, he would have also been wrong to not forward this to council and get a resolution. You understand the point?
Yes, I do.
Yes, so, but again, like I said, it will only be fair to wait for him to come. And so we will move on. The issues regarding whether you have the power to sign or not, I had said, unless there are questions, I had said the commissioners will make deliberations on that. Yes.
Yes, Madam Sonko, with respect to the same guarantee as has been read to you by council, it is correct that there is nowhere in the agreement that stated that the land would be used as guarantee, even though it is valued for less than the 12 million, as you said, as you testified yesterday.
This is not the agreement between the bank and the welfare. This is just guarantee between the council and the bank. So that will be stated in the agreement between the bank.
Was there an agreement?
Yes, there was from the bank, between the bank and the welfare association.
Do you have a copy of the agreement?
I should be able to.
Please note it so that you bring that agreement. And,
yes.
Just for the purpose of clarity, we do believe that the agreement is very explicit. And what the agreement said was that in the event that the association, the Staff Welfare Association, is unable to pay, the council will be held liable. And it's very clear, it's not ambiguous, and I believe that the instructions to wait for a council resolution was in order. That is my view. Council, we may proceed. Yes.
Thank you very much, Madam Chairperson. My concern is, how do you receive approval from the mayor? Is it by verbal or by writing?
Some is by writing, and like in the case of the credit union, I discussed it with him, and he said it was okay for me to go ahead and sign it.
So that was verbal?
Yes.
For 800,000, you need just a verbal approval?
Yes, for me to sign the guarantee on behalf of the...
Yeah, but that doesn't that mean that you have overgone your bounds to, I think your limit was 500,000? And the next threshold, the mayor has to append his signature or to give approval. And in cases like this, if the money is very huge, you would want documentary evidence. Why didn't you mean it to the mayor to say, we consent that you give us approval for this, so that at least in the, either on a minute sheet or on the letter itself, then he would have written, approved, and then you can go ahead. Because you see, that's the reason why we are having this problem, or why you were having this problem. A verbal was given for the 800,000, and the rejection was given for the 12 million. And you take it upon yourself to say, why is one approved and the other one is not, so therefore, I'm going the way I think I should go. Don't you think so?
I agree with you, but on the last one, I think it was based on the fact that the investment was in the interest of the staff of the council.
Now, may I come back to the chairperson's concern? And you said you have documentary evidence to that. If the council workers fail in meeting their obligations with the bank, the council is liable according to the contract or the whatever that has just been read. Let's take, for example, if you have 200 staff who benefited from this land, and now you can only do 100 deductions, and the other 100 have been retired or has left the service or whatever, you have a shortfall of 100 people contributing to that. How would you have settled that difference?
Like I said yesterday, the land itself was used as a collateral as well.
It was?
Yes.
And you have documentary evidence?
Yes.
To that? Okay, that's enough. Thank you.
Yes.
Yes, we move to another issue in relation to your statement, page 14, second paragraph. You said, I was not happy with the fact that if a councillor falls sick, for example, Councillor Habib Sise and Councillor Basiru Sar, the mayor would call me to his office and instruct me to help facilitate treatment for that councillor at the expense of the council. And it was as it was them, the mayor and his councillors, that passed a general resolution to put an embargo on loans and medical insurance in the council. On the other hand, if a staff falls sick and seeks support for treatment, the mayor would instruct me not to approve the request because of the embargo on loans and medical insurance in the council. Is that correct?
That's right.
Now, yesterday, we were dealing with the issue regarding the joint meeting with Contrast Committee and Task Force on Waste Processing.
Council, before we move on, sorry, once again, I have this copy. I believe the original copy was submitted to the investigators, but this is a copy for a request for medical support from Councillor Habib Sise, which the mayor himself endorsed for us to pay.
Let me please.
Yes, and you have other vouchers also, other payments in respect to Habib Sise attached. And there was a staff, I think I mentioned about that lady whose son needed an operation all the way to Dakar. But the mayor referred the lady to my office to help when there was the embargo already in place on medical insurance. So there was no way that I could have helped that lady except to refer her to the Welfare Association. But in the case of Habib Sise and the other councillor that was mentioned, Basiru Sar, he personally called me even before them making the request to his office to intervene, to help them to get treatment.
Yes, so please hold this document. Perhaps in your second, when we are after break, we will deal with the vouchers.
Yes. And in the case of Habib Sise, we initially gave him to get treatment in the country. Then he came back with another request to say that he was not realizing improvement, and that his sickness was a spiritual one, and he needed further support from the council to help him travel to Casamas to get that treatment. And in that case too, it was approved by the mayor.
But why? There was an embargo.
That is what I am trying to bring out here. In the case of the ordinary staff of the council, the embargo will be important. It will hold. But in the case of the councillors, the embargo will not be important, yes.
All right, we will come to that issue. We will discuss that issue in depth. Now, I had asked whether you know of any lawyer that works with the council at any length in relation to whether they attend committee meetings, or the companies you create, they are part of the companies you create, aside from Council Yasin Senghor and Senghor Law Practice?
The only lawyer that, now I recall,
yes,
the only lawyer that I am aware of is the mayor's brother.
And who is the mayor's brother?
Aziz Bensouda. But the meetings that he attended was in respect to the setting up of the Carnegie Municipal Transport.
So he had been attending meetings?
Yes, he has been attending meetings, and he was serving as an advisor, from what I understood, as an advisor to the mayor.
But I'm not sure whether you were aware in 2018 when there was a new dispensation, the Aziz Bensouda's office were councils to the area council. Were you aware of this? Until it was handed over to Senghor Law Practice.
I was informed, but that was before I became the CEO.
Yes.
But I was informed that they were the retained lawyer,
yes,
of the council.
And then the reason of transferring to Senghor Law Practice is issues of conflict of interest. So why would Mr. Bensouda, as of council, appear in relation to the set up of KMT?
Well, for me, I was just told that he was advising the mayor.
We have the KMT, but we also have the minutes of the meetings that I had read to you, and I will read again for the people that were present in attending this meeting. And it says, the contract committee members, the deputy mayor, Musaba, Councillor Bakau Newtown Binta Jalo, Chief Executive Officer, KMC Sainabou Matin Sonko, Director of Services, KMC Lamin S. Sanyang, Director of Finance, Aliu Keita, Deputy Director of Finance, Sheriff Njai, Director of Planning, KMC, Nima Kamara, Procurement Manager, KMC Fatumata S. Cham, an expert, Dawda Bari, and Omar Kamara, another expert. That's the team of the Contracts Committee. Then you have the task force members. Representative of National Environment Agency, Mariatou Doumbia. Former legal counsel, Aziz Abdul Bensouda.
Yes.
Lawyer, KMC, represented by Yasin Senghor. And governance advisor, KMC, Philip Spencer. And then you have the ones that were absent, Alpha Bari, private sector, Suleiman Cham from MOFA, and Bafode Sanyang from Energy and Petroleum. Now, not only did Mr. Bensouda attend the KMT, but this is the task force for the waste processing management.
That's right.
So why would that be the case? Did you not raise an issue of conflict of interest, or you didn't see any issue of conflict of interest?
Obviously, there is conflict of interest in it.
Why was it not raised? How was he appointed?
But at that time, I think I just newly started my job as the CEO.
Yes.
So obviously, I found it there.
And this is a meeting that we were discussing the issue of the waste management in relation to the fencing and the tender process.
Yes, that's right.
So, and we have Council Yasin Senghor is the advisor or the legal representative of the company that ended up winning the fencing project. That is Bajam. Were you aware of this?
No. I heard that during the testimony of the proprietor of
Bajam.
Bajam here.
So why would you not do due diligence? What was the reason for not doing due diligence to the members that will attend the meetings and make decisions in relation to awarding contracts and tying public funds?
Council, when I joined the council newly, I found them send out the bids.
Yes.
The invitation for bids, and the bids were already submitted to the council, and
yes.
a date was already set for the opening.
Yes.
Which was done in my presence. I think that was my first engagement with the contracts committee.
Yes.
Yes, and
no, but we have received evidence. What I have doubt with, and which we will have to ask questions from the relevant people, is that we have received evidence that, of course, Mr. Bensouda is the brother of the mayor.
yes,
And was the former council of the KMC.
yes, Ami Bensouda and co.
Yes, and then the idea that there was a handing over to Senghor law practice, or they moved, KMC moved to Senghor law practice because of the issue of conflict of interest.
Yes,
But Senghor law practice represents, we have evidence at the commission, represents the mayor in his individual capacity, and KMC in its capacity as well, and also Bajam. So what was going on? We don't understand.
Well, in that regard, council, at the time, I was only aware of Senghor's representation of the council.
Yes.
But that of the mayor was not to my knowledge, and that of Bajam too was not to my knowledge.
But you saw, when you saw our CEO, those that were to be present in meetings of council must have been formally and duly and properly appointed. So as CEO, was it not to your knowledge that Abdul Aziz Bensouda was the biological brother of the mayor?
I knew that.
Did you not raise that issue? Do you not think you should have raised the issue? And Bajam Company, being awarded the fencing project, were represented by the council's lawyer.
Well, for me,
their lawyer was present.
No, it was not in that meeting that the contract was awarded.
I understand.
Yes, a separate tender process took place.
I agree.
Yes.
I understand.
And that was handled solely by the contracts committee.
Yes.
So for us at the contracts committee, we were doing everything professionally. So this information that you are just saying, I ran about it here in the commission. I'm just getting to know about them here.
I understand, but I'm just saying, when probably you would have done, or the contracts committee would have really engaged in due diligence procedures to detect, because one of the issues that is prohibited strictly by our laws, and particularly as well in relation to local governance, the Local Government Act, is issues of conflict of interest. And where your interest lies, you cannot take part in deliberations. You cannot take part in deliberations. And we should not, under any circumstance, be afraid to say it. So when we appoint people, for instance, I would expect, if you act in the capacity of as a CEO or working for any, in relation to any contracts committee or decision making, we abide by the law, regardless of the outcome. There was a pure conflict. In my opinion, you cannot really explain it in any other manner apart from it being a conflict of interest.
Right, Council, but at the time, me as the CEO, I was not aware that Yasin was representing the mayor in the mayor's capacity.
Yes.
And at the same time representing the council.
We have,
and at the same time,
we have evidence because we have received communications that Senghor Law Practice represents the mayor in his individual capacity. So, and we have evidence that Senghor Law Practice, from the witness, that as well Senghor Law Practice represents, and from the documents of incorporation.
To be frank, I am just learning about
Bajam, and Bajam was awarded the contract to friends of the Bangladesh side. How would we be sure, or anyone be sure, that there were no issues of favoritism?
There were no issues of
favoritism. That Bajam won the contract unfairly, and that there were other competitors they probably would have won.
At the time of the contract award, I, as the chairperson of the contracts committee, was not aware of that.
Now, let me read
Because
to you.
Bajam was a new company to me.
Yes.
And all the other companies that bidded too were new to me. So I was seeing them or looking at them as the same.
Yes.
Yes. Just looking at the company who has the capacity to be most responsive to our needs at the time.
And so those who were tasked with the decision of deciding whether Bajam would be the most responsive, part of the people who sat in these meetings were highly conflicted.
That meeting did not determine the award of the backwater fencing.
I know, but it may have influenced not only the meeting, the idea that people that were conflicted were taking part in these discussions in itself alone. The minutes read, for instance, let me tell you. It says evaluation of submissions to backward fence tender. The meeting discussed the urgent need to construct a fence with barbed wire surrounding backward dump site in order to make the site secure and access controlled. It was noted that the original tender did not include pre-financing and the original inclusion of solar lights along the fence should be removed. The meeting discussed the bidders who have had issues in the past and the bidders which have the ability to pre-finance and mobilize quickly. The council's budget of $10 million for this activity was highlighted. It was agreed that the three most competitive bidders should be invited for direct negotiations later in the day. This was a meeting that the lawyer of three of the parties were present. Discussed strategy for emergency approach to waste processing partnership. The meeting discussed how the recent fire at backward dump site affects the need to swift action to better manage backward dump site through establishing a waste processing with a private sector partner. Many members of the task force emphasized the need to avoid the risk of trying to solve a long-term problem with a short-term solution. So the task force were actively taking part in these deliberations. Other members highlighted the urgency of the situation and the potential value added by a waste processing partnership. The fire risk of dry season were noted. It was noted that the boundary fence will help mitigate some of the issues. Members noted that the financial, technical, and information constraints faced prior to the fire remain a constraint today. The need for an independent feasibility study with detailed technical information was raised. The task force agreed to invite the bidder with sufficient technical experience, ability to mobilize in country, and willingness to work without a power purchase agreement from National Water and Electrical Company to direct negotiations later in the day. The task force and the members are a representative of National Environment Agency, Mariato Doumbia, former legal counsel Aziz Abdul Bensouda, lawyer KMC, represented by Yasin Senghor and Philip Sen. These were the task force members, and they were to invite the.
I found the task force already formed.
No,
at the other council, and I don't have any.
Hear me out, and understand me. I'm not accusing you of any wrongdoing. I am saying there existed a clear conflict, and if you read the minutes of the meetings, even the task force had to engage the bidders, and one of the members of the task force is the lawyer of the bidder. Represented the bidder, even continues to represent the bidder. And I'm just saying, moving forward, probably when we have contracts committee meetings, now you are CEO in, is it Caravan?
Yes.
Probably you may want to engage in due diligence up to the level that you can, of course, naturally, up to the level that you can and reasonably do, to know the people that, because the law says that in deliberations where you are conflicted, you should not even take part. You understand that?
I agree.
All right. Any questions before I move on?
Yes. In addition to what Council has just said, let me just find out from you. From the minutes of the meeting, did you realize that an identification of the person that is supposed to handle the contract was already made?
That was done at the contracts committee level.
Okay.
Yes, that was done at the contracts committee level. And because it was done at the contracts, you know, when the bid opening took place, the contracts committee also went further to do the evaluation.
Were you part of the task force?
As the CEO.
This task force, that is the minister.
Yes, yes, as the CEO, I should be the ex-officio member of.
Did you attend this meeting?
Yes, I was there.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you. Council, you may proceed.
Now, as CEO, one of the TOR that we have to ask is where do you know of the appointment of council that represents the area council? Law firms or law offices that represent the area council, do you know the process that was followed? No?
Ask the question again, please. Repeat it.
You have a representative, a Senko law practice, was appointed before you came in.
Yes.
And you came in which month?
I came in March.
March.
Of 2020.
When you came in, was the agreement renewed with Senko law practice?
I found the agreement existing already.
Yes, but it appears that the agreement was renewed.
Yeah, it was renewed in my presence.
In your presence?
Yes.
Now, I have questions regarding that.
Okay.
We have an agreement between Caribbean Municipal Council and Senko Law Practice, yes, in Senko. It is dated the 22nd of July 2020. It's marked as LGC/JC/KMC/003. It says, whereas the client is desirous of retaining the solicitor as its legal petitioner for the period beginning 12th day of June 2020 to the 11th day of June 2021, 1 year period, correct?
Yes.
And the agreement reads as with respect to the terms and conditions. But how did you give an agreement to Ms. Senko? What procedure was followed? Did you follow procurement process? Any procurement process?
In the renewal process, because she was already contracted.
Yes.
I want to believe the procurement process was followed in contracting her.
We don't have evidence of that. The evidence says, according to the GP, there should be requests for proposals sent to three law firms at minimum. We don't have evidence of that. Do you see any evidence in relation to the procurement that was followed to contract Senko Law Practice?
No. I was only informed that the contract expired and needed to be renewed.
Were you given the contract that expired?
No.
And is there any provision in the procurement that says you can automatically renew without following the procurement process? It has expired, it's no longer subsisting. Would you not have really followed, and at least to know you have value for money, you at least consult other lawyers. There are lawyers around, there are law firms around, at least minimum of 3. Do you not think so? That would have been the best. So who gave the instruction to extend this contract? How did you have the instruction?
Obviously, it came from the mayor's office.
And
because I came in new,
yes,
and he was kind of putting me through in those regards.
The procurement regulation, can I have the regulation, please? Procurement regulations, the act. It guides you in relation to, it guides you, or let me say, or any procurement organization that is supposed to engage into procurement to follow certain rules and regulations. When you came in newly as CEO, were you familiar with procurement?
Yes, I am.
You were. And you know that the rules are strict and should be followed?
In fact, I requested for a training, a refresher training in the procurement rules.
Yes.
Yes, and that was sponsored by the UNDP.
Now, if you go by the manual first, which has talks about briefly about procurement, it tells you, page 48, section 607, that this is the procedure for request for proposals. This is the open tender version for procurement of consultancy services. It provides a competitive process among shortlisted firms that takes into account the quality of the proposal and, when applicable, the cost of the services in the selection of the successful service provider. You understand that? So it has to be a competitive process. So was this a competitive process?
No, I don't think so. Because I was just asked to sign the renewal.
Yes.
Yes, for the renewal of the contract.
Yes.
Yes, I was just asked to sign the renewal of the contract.
The Act reads, and I page 34, procedure for procurement of consulting services, that part 2, to present the procedures to be followed in the case of the request for proposals method, provides a competitive process among shortlisted firms that takes into account the quality of the proposal and, when applicable, the cost of the services in the selection of the successful service provider. The procurement organization shall submit a request for proposal for the approval to the authorities applicable. After the procedure for the solicitation of the participation, the first stage involves an assessment of the quality and technical aspect of proposals. In the second stage, the financial proposals are evaluated. And you have the preparation of shortlist. A shortlist of at least 3, but not more than 6 bidders who possesses the necessary professional and technical qualifications and competence, financial resources, equipment, and other physical facilities, managerial capability, experience in the procurement object, reputation, and personnel to perform the contract shall be prepared. In order to establish the shortlist, a procurement organization may seek expression of interest by publishing a non-bidding notice with the information prescribed in sub-regulation 1 in the local or international media. The information requested shall be the minimum required to make a judgment on the bidder's suitability and not be so complex as to discourage consultants from expressing interest. Not less than 30 days shall be provided for responses before preparation of the shortlist. The shortlist may comprise entirely of bidders from the Gambia for procurement with a value of, and the list goes on. And you have a column for section for issuance of request for proposal. You have avoidance of conflict of interest. Consultants shall provide professional, objective, and impartial advice at all times, hold the client's interest paramount without any consideration of future work. Consultants shall strictly avoid conflicts with other assignments or their own corporate interest. You see, when we follow the rules, when we follow the regulations, we would have better service to the public. We would be doing justice to the public. I guarantee you, I know, because I'm a lawyer, I know Senghor law practice is not the only law firm in the Gambia.
Right.
Do you understand that? There are other law firms in the Gambia, private law firms in the Gambia.
Right.
And so therefore, it is only fair and prudent to subject the appointment or the contracting of any law firm in the right manner. So you should not have allowed even the mayor to even instruct you to renew. That would be in violation by council itself. But you said you came newly?
I came in newly, and imagine if I should have done otherwise, what would have been the outcome of that? Given the fact that with the Staff Welfare Association, what I have been through already.
And I read the conflict of interest part, that also would be in relation, would be very much in line with respect to the contracts for Bajam and any other contract the solicitor may represent contractor in our contract. It says that part 3, sub 3 of 97, page 35, that consultants shall not be hired by any assignment that would by its nature be in conflict with their prior or current obligations to the government of the Gambia or other clients, or place them in a position of not being able to carry out their assignment in the best interest of a procuring organization. So what was happening in KMC was in clear violation, at least to my opinion, in my opinion, a clear violation of the relevant laws of the land. You understand that?
Yes, I do. Yesterday you asked for who appointed Yasin Senghor as the secretary.
Yes.
So I want to believe it's the mayor because I have my nomination to the board of directors, Cardiff Municipal Transport here.
Mayor, please.
Yes. So I believe it's the mayor who wrote the nomination as well for Yasin Senghor.
Mayor, please.
Okay, here it is.
We applied to tender the nomination of the Board of Directors, Cardiff Municipal Transport, 26th of August 2020 to Sainabou Matin Sonko, Chief Executive Officer, Cardiff Municipal Council. I'm signed by Talib Ahmed Bensouda, Lord Mayor, Cardiff Municipal Council, into evidence as an exhibit.
A letter dated the 26th of August 2020 with reference KMC/MO/041/K01 addressed to Mrs. Sainabou Sonko Matin, Chief Executive Officer, Cardiff Municipal Council, with the caption Nomination to Board of Directors, Cardiff Municipal Transport. The letter is signed by Talib Ahmed Bensouda, Lord Mayor, Cardiff Municipal Council. It is copied to the Chief Executive Officer, KMC, Director of Planning, KMC, Clerk of Council, KMC, Governance Advisor, KMC, and Lawyer, KMC. This letter is admitted in evidence as an exhibit, and it is marked as LGC/SMS/KMC/007.
As the Commission pleases. Now, please tell us about KMT, what gave rise to the birth of KMT, and what you know about the company. Why was it formed or incorporated?
When I came in as a CEO, I found them also sent out the invitation for bid.
Yes.
Yeah, for interested companies or businesses or individuals to bid for the setting up of a Cardiff Municipal Transport.
Yes.
Yes, company. The bid opening was done in my presence, I think on that day we opened it for the municipal transport and the market infrastructure development.
Yes.
If I am right. I'm not sure whether the fencing was also included, but I think we did it for about 2 of them.
Yes.
We had bidders from TK Motors, from a company called Nofly, and I think Espas came in initially, if I am right. GTSC, yes, GTSC. I think these are the 4 companies I can remember. After the bid opening, we did the evaluation and we had discussions with each of the bidders. TK Motors made it clear to us because what we wanted was to have a partner who will come in with some kind of equity, bring in your capital, your resources, and a partner with the council to set up the municipal transport. But TK Motors made it very clear to us that they are not partnering to deliver the transport services. They are selling. If we want vehicles from them, they tended to supply the council
Yes.
with vehicles, not to partner. So they backed out. So it remained, I think, GTSC, Espas. Espas was interested in partnering. I think Mohamed was invited in one of the meetings. We had a discussion with him, but could not have an agreement with him.
Why? Do you know why?
I think it was thought that the council was not going to benefit much from the partnership at the end of the day.
Okay.
So we call in the next bidder, Nofly.
Yes.
Yeah, represented by Modu Zakaria Sow. We had discussions with him and eventually agreed to terms with him. We sent the award to GPPA and GPPA approved. We took things from there with Nofly.
Yes.
So after the approval of GPPA, then we were really engaged with Momodu Zakaria Sow. He was coming a lot to the office and he was even given an office at the KMC annex.
Yes.
To start running the affairs or setting up the company. And he was the managing director, he was the manager of the municipal bus transport.
Yes.
And thereon the board was set up. And like I said earlier, in one of those discussions leading to the formation of the board, Aziz Bensouda was present. Yes.
Why? In what capacity?
As an advisor to the mayor, according to what the mayor told me.
But the President of
And the-
Council cannot advise the mayor in this capacity. That would be conflict.
Well, there was nothing I could do about
You
that.
should raise it. Why did you not raise it? The idea is that the mayor represents council. So these activities, were they the personal activity of the mayor in his individual capacity or a project embarked on by council, which the mayor represents?
It was a council's project.
Exactly. So the same reason as to why there was a change of council with respect to the conflict of interest issue still applies.
Then some of the meetings was on Zoom because of it was mostly in the period of the COVID-19.
And who will be present in these meetings?
Myself, the governance advisor at the time, Mr. Philip Spencer,
Yes.
Aziz Yasin Senghor, the mayor himself, and Momodu Zakaria Sow, until the board was formed. Yes, when we formed the board, or when we had a board, the board took up the discussions. Yeah, and I think when Mr. Aliu Senghor was the chairman of the board.
Aliu Senghor
Yes.
is Was the chairman in any way related to the secretary? The secretary was Hassan Senghor?
Well, their surnames are the same, but I cannot say whether they are related.
You did not find out?
No,
you didn't find out?
I did not find out.
Okay. Please proceed.
Yes, so, and we had agreement with Momodou Sow. Council was supposed to provide a subvention, an annual subvention of $5 million.
Yes.
Yes, and I think if I can refer to the agreement,
yes,
I would be in a better position to explain it. But
we
from what I can remember,
yes,
I know council was supposed to come up with a certain amount of contribution annually. And out of that contribution, $5 million was to be provided by council annually. And I think 80% was supposed to be provided by the partner.
no fly.
No fly.
We will give you time. We can give you time with the permission of the chairperson,
Yes.
to refamiliarize yourself with the agreement, and then we can deal with the issue of...
Right now, I don't have access. Like I said, without an order from the commission.
We have the
agreement.
The KMT documents submitted.
Okay.
And you can see the registrar, Mr. Kamara.
Yes.
And then the chairperson will instruct Mr. Kamara to give you access.
Yes, thank you.
In relation to the chairperson may, not will, sorry for that, may give you access to review the files. If that is given, then you can consult the agreement.
Thank you. So
Chair, may we apply that the witness be given access to the agreement? The KMT document, yes.
Yes, the registrar is instructed to allow him to have access to the agreement that is being referred to.
As the commission places. Now, let's leave the issue of KMT. Well, let's just talk about, let me ask you a few questions about KMT, and then when you come back, you can go into specifics.
Yes.
You have something to say?
Yes. I said after signing the agreement with No-Fly, few months into the agreement, he could not come up with the capital that he was supposed to bring along. So after reviewing our engagements with him, and after giving him time, we realized that, it was realized that he would not be able to do so. So his contract was terminated.
Yes.
Yes. That's how the contract, but then already council had already committed $5 million.
Yes.
Towards the management of the municipal transport.
Yes.
And the payments were being done at the time from that account.
Was the $5 million supposed to be every year, do you recall, or was it supposed to be a one-time payment?
I believe it was supposed to be annually for some period, yes.
And do you know whether the council was able to get any other partner in relation to the KMT?
No, when the contract was terminated, the then Balit project manager, Bakari Singate, was appointed as the manager, the new manager of the municipal transport.
Bakari Singate.
Bakari Singate. And because it would not be legal for council to proceed with the municipal without another partner, because that's what it was meant to be, a partnership. So I was called upon one morning in the mayor's office, and I was asked to be the 1% shareholder of the municipal transport.
Do you have the document?
I don't have a copy of that because I left these documents in my office.
Yes.
And could not access them up to date.
And you agreed to take 1%?
For me, I was confused because I didn't buy any shares and I did not contribute any capital to the company. So I could not understand how come they made me a shareholder.
It appears that there were no problems back then, so the working environment was okay. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? At some point, you fell out with the mayor, but the idea is that probably moving forward, you should be asking more questions and possibly saying no to certain things that you do not understand.
Thank you.
Do you not think so?
Yes, that's right.
But maybe when we come back as well, that 1%, we will discuss it. So, before you engage into the partnership with No-Fly, were there any due diligence done to know whether No-Fly would be in a position to meet up with their financial obligations? Because you can't sign the agreements, commit funds, and then before you realize the company you want to partner with cannot come up with their financial obligations. That would not really suggest any form of due diligence exercised in even making a decision to partner with No-Fly.
I believe that was that was done by the lawyer at the time. Yasin Senghor was tasked to do the due diligence on No-Fly. Yes.
Do you know whether there was any document evidence presented to know whether in fact their financial standing would suggest that they can meet up with their obligations?
I want to believe the recommendation was positive. Otherwise, we would not have gone ahead to sign the agreement with him. But when we access the file of KMT, I think we should find the records of those meetings.
Yeah. Proceed.
Yes, okay. Is your system functional? Yes, Council, you may proceed.
Now, just to wait for you to come back in relation to KMT, we have the issue of appointments or employments that were done in your statement, page 12 of your statement, where you have said that the council has an establishment and appointment committee that is chaired by the councillor of Ibo Town Ward, Habib Sisi, that is responsible for appointing staff at the lower category and contractual appointments as well. This contract has made a lot of political appointments in the recent past that do not follow the local government service regulations, particularly in the case of Kan Mustafa Kani, known as Kanyura Kani, who was initially appointed on contract basis as advisor to the mayor, but was also tasked with the management of the Bakwai dump site at the time. During this time, he managed to get the mayor with the former acting CEO Jaya Cham to approve $1 million. Now, Kan Mustafa Kani testified. We could not see any qualification that he has to even offer a consultancy service. I read to the law in relation to hiring people in relation to consultancy services as well. None of these were followed. He is the least experienced, the least qualified to occupy the positions he occupied at council. And numerous contracts were given to him, numerous payments were made to Kan Mustafa Kani for no experience whatsoever. Now, why was it the case with Kan Mustafa Kani and others regarding their appointments when it was clear that they were not valid?
Like I said in my statement, it was a political appointment. So regardless of the qualification, it was a political appointment.
The establishment committee, what is your role as CEO?
I am ex-officio member.
Did anyone raise the appointments of Kan Mustafa Kani and any other person in relation to it not being proper?
I did, but not in the establishment and committee meetings. But sometimes I raise the issue with the HR at the time.
With the HR?
Yes. That
who was the HR?
Demboja.
Please proceed with that.
That we ought to be careful because these are not in line with the rules, or what is expected of the council. And
what was his opinion regarding that?
I used to raise a lot of issue with the HR, but later on I learned that anything that I discussed with him, he would sneak out and inform the councillors, and they started becoming angry with me. Yes.
But then you should have still, perhaps maybe.
But in the case of Kanjura and most of these appointments, to be honest, there was nothing much that I could have done as the CEO. Because I found Kanjura Kanyi in the council.
Yes.
Already appointed as advisor.
Yes.
To the mayor, and the council kept continuing renewing his approvals.
But there were different type of contracts given to him, different type of consultancies given to him without following due process.
Yes, serious. But I think if I am right, I think I signed only one. If it is more than one, then it is not more than two.
Yes. And,
yes.
And what was the circumstance surrounding you signing the contracts without following due process?
No, the contracts, the establishment and appointment committee obviously recommend. So when they do their recommendations, there is nothing that the CEO can do except to implement.
No, if the CEO thinks that he didn't follow due process, as a chief accounting officer, you have to tell, regardless of where the order comes from. You may say that this is not in line with due process. Do you not think so? Or it was an instruction?
It was an instruction.
We will be done with the witness for now, and we want to finish with the witness with KMT. Unless there are questions. Unless there are other questions. Yes, after break with respect to KMT, and allow the witness to familiarize. I'm saying we don't have any questions for the witness. We want to proceed with her with respect to the KMT files she had asked for. We don't have another witness.
Are you applying that we rise to give her the opportunity to look at the file so that we can proceed
Yes.
on the KMT
yes.
issue?
Yes.
And with other issues
Yes.
relative to her term as
Yes,
CEO?
Madam Chairperson. Yep.
All right.
Thank you very much.
We may rise. We'll come back after. Council, do we come back after lunch? All right, we may come back after lunch. Thank you. So, Madam, you will consult with the registrar, and he will avail you what you want to refresh your mind on, and we'll proceed. Thank you.